Good morning, guys. Welcome to Station 3 Productions, and welcome to another episode of How to Raise Exotic Birds Successfully. I think this is episode 3. So stick around, stay tuned, and I'll tell you what we got going on. Alright, guys. In this episode here, I think we're going to talk about some of the differences between all the different types of cages that you can come up with. And as a beginner, you're going to see some of the huge differences between them. We're going to talk about stainless steel, aluminum, wire cages, homemade wire cages, and then of course wooden cages. And I mean, you can see some of the big differences. You know, you can see it on YouTube, you can see them, you know, you can look it up on Google, you can go to your local pet store. And most of the biggest differences is price. And like, for example, we'll talk about the stainless steel real quick. Stainless steel and aluminum. We'll talk about this real quick because there's not a whole lot of differences between them. And stainless steel, number one, they're gonna outlive you. Probably. Number two, they're durable. I mean, they're long lasting. I mean, these cages are really super nice. Easy to clean. All you gotta do is wipe them down and you're good to go. But the problem with them is price. I'm telling you, these cages are ridiculously priced. I don't care if it's a small cage for I don't know, a small conure or nande, maybe even a cockatiel, but they are ridiculously priced. And for a beginner, there's no way I would ever recommend that. Not until you've been in it for a little while and you realize that you're going to stay in it for a while. Then maybe you can go back, and get one if you wanted. But what it's all going to boil down to is they look nice, and they're easy to clean, and they last forever. And that's about all there is to that. Aluminum cages, and again, the same thing applies. You know, they're really durable. They'll last a lifetime. But with aluminum, they're lightweight, so you know they're going to be easy to move around if you need to or whatever. What did I say? Did I say easy to clean already? Well, anyway, wipe them down, boom, good to go. And again, for a beginner, they're ridiculously priced. And again, at the end of the day, all you're going to end up with is an overpriced bird cage. That's what it's going to boil down to. I mean, it's not that I don't like them, because they look really nice, but that's what it boils down to, is they just look nice. And as I said, once again, they're completely out of range, you know, price wise. I mean, they don't make your bird any healthier. They don't make your bird any prettier. They don't. I mean, it is what it is. Now, like my other cages over here, we got. No, you guys seen these plenty of times. You got your wire cages. Now, these cages here are not priced too awful bad. I mean, it's just going to boil down to where you go. You know, if you order one of these off of the internet, you can get them a little cheaper. If you buy them at your local pet store, it might be a little pricey for what it is. Like this cage alone goes for 75 bucks. Okay, 75 bucks a piece. I've got 3 of them. Alright. This cage stand alone is $60. That's just for that. Okay. So, I mean, and this is not too bad. Now, if you compare this wire cage to the same size cage as stainless steel or aluminum, you're going to see a really huge difference. I mean, this cage alone right here in stainless steel is going to easily cost you $300. Hands down. Now, you know, if you're looking for this one cage, then you're going to be fine. You're only going to need something like this. And they all come, you know, in a million different sizes, a million different styles, designs, whatever. But so, and this is just a wire cage. It's simple, to the point, easy to clean. You know. Now we'll come over here to my cockatiels. Now this one is a homemade wire cage, and I have had this cage easily for 10 years. It's been through I don't know how many birds. Matter of fact, as a matter of fact, at one point I had like 20 of these, and this particular cage right here has been, this cage has bounced all over through the family. It's been sold to a few people. Cages came back. It was resold again. Came back again. Blah blah blah. Long story short, I got the cage again, and as you see, it's fine. Now this is a wire cage here, and you can get this. You know, you can get a 50-foot roll of wire at like a Tractor Supply store, or maybe Lowe's, or your local hardware store, or something like that. I think a 50-foot roll of wire, you would need yeah, probably close to that. I don't know, $50 maybe, something like that. $50–$60. It just depends, because the prices they change all year long for wire. So, and this is 1/2 inch by 1 inch. It's good enough for parakeets, cockatiels, anything small. And these here are gonna, this cage here is gonna last just as long as this wire cage right here. You know, they're built pretty tough. And then we've got my wrought iron cage. And again, this is a California cage right here, and I couldn't say enough about this. It's wrought iron. It's powder coated. I've had this cage for easily 10 years, and it works just fine. I mean, if you know anything about powder coat, you powder coat anything, it's going to outlive anybody. Just like that cage right over there, that one I just showed you, that white one. That's a California cage. You know, they're a little bit pricey too, but at the time I think I paid $300 for that cage. But like I said, I've had it for 10 years. You know, easily 10 years. And that cage has paid for itself time and time again. You know. And then, of course, we have the wooden cages. You know, a homemade wooden cage. Now, there's a whole lot of downfalls to that. With wooden cages, you know, of course, you let your creativity run wild. Then you can make it as big as you want, as small as you need to. You can, you know, I mean, you can make some elaborate wooden cages. But the problem with wood and you'll find that this is a huge problem if you're not careful, is the droppings from your bird, if you're not careful, will hold disease. They cause, you can get mites, and mites will live in that wood. It will end up, messing everything up. So, I don't have a wooden cage to demonstrate it, but, my infamous unpainted wall. Yay. Well, anyway, what happens is it gets right in here, and those little bugs will stay in here, and they will live in there, and then eventually end up on your bird. And then it's going to go from this bird, you tried to get me, didn't you? Then it's going to get onto that bird. It's just like lice, And then you have to turn around and start treating your birds. Well, who wants to treat their birds if you can just do it right the first time? Now, there is a way you can use wooden cages. You can use wooden cages if you seal it with, with paint that's not going to hurt your animals. Now, you go to your paint store, and it'll tell you on the can, if it's harmful to animals or not harmful to animals. And that's where it's going to pay, you have to pay attention. If you paint your wood first, or seal it, you can use, a stain or whatever to see. You got to seal the wood up. Now, if you do that and then put your cage together, then you're going to be fine. I haven't had any problems, but the biggest thing with that is you have to have it sealed. And then again, even doing that with wood, it soaks up everything. They are really difficult to keep clean. They're cheap, because you can buy wood anywhere. For a small bird cage, you can buy, it's really inexpensive. You can build a huge bird cage inexpensively. But the downfalls are, just like I said, it holds everything, and they're really difficult to clean. And once everything starts getting into the wood, you're going to end up going to get another cage or build another cage, because sooner or later it's going to get nasty. It's going to hold, the smell from the birds. If you don't keep the cage clean, it's just a bad idea altogether. Now, with these here, obviously it doesn't hold anything. And it's like with your wooden nest boxes, you got to be careful with them too. And it's the same thing. When you're done with those right there, which we'll talk about that when we get into the breeding part of it, but just a quick tip, these have to be cleaned out. There's a certain way to clean all of that out to make sure everything is, there's nothing left in there before you reuse it again. These wire cages, like I said, I've had this one for years. It lasts forever. There's no real downfalls to it. The same with my wrought iron cage. They're a little bit expensive, but once you buy one, this is going to last you a lifetime. But these are way cheaper than the stainless steel or the aluminum ones. That's for sure. And again, with these over here, these are not too bad priced. It depends on where you get them. I got a supplier, so I've got this whole setup right here. You guys have been watching my other videos. This came way cheap. Okay, believe me, for what I paid for this set. Alright guys, Jesus, something happened to my camera. What are you gonna do, I guess? But anyway, I don't even remember where I was. Jesus. But anyhow, these here are not, these are not bad. And these are gonna last a while too. I mean, you just gotta take care of them, that's all. I mean, plastic trays, they're easy to clean. They're not too bad. They're not priced too bad. It just depends, $75 for this cage opposed to a $50 roll of wire, and you can build this cage right here, and this one's gonna do just fine. But with this one here, you have to custom build your own trays, where of course this one comes with a tray. These guys here, this is a really tough cage too. They cost a little more, but they're gonna last forever. Wooden cages are alright, as long as you follow the steps, that I've explained. You have to keep them sealed. But, and again, in the long run, it's still not very good because they're really difficult to clean. And, I've used them in the past, and I found out the hard way that it's just not worth it. Excuse me. By the time you go and spend, a bunch of money building this huge wooden cage and this and that, you could have just bought a really nice cage and called it a day. Then of course the aluminum and the stainless steel, again, they're really, really nice, easy to clean, really durable, but as I've said already, they're overpriced. And for a beginner, like I said, I would never recommend it. These guys right here, just like I said, I've used these for years, and I will still continue to use them. I don't really make my cages anymore, but I still had this one around, so I'm going to keep on using this. And then this cage here, like I said, I've had for, I don't know, easily 10 years. So, in the future, all the cages that you're going to see are going to be something like this, or maybe a little bigger, but they're still wire cages. No aluminum, no steel, stainless steel, no wood. I'm just not a big fan of the wood stuff anymore. My California cage, like I said, I have it, so I'm going to use it, but it'll probably be a long while before I need to buy another one. So there's some of the differences, for the beginners, to decide, what cage to buy, what's going to be best for you, whatever you can afford. The biggest thing is how much can you spend, and you want to make it as easy as possible to clean. That's what it's going to boil down to. So until the next time, guys, take care, stay safe, and if you haven't subscribed, the button's up there somewhere. If you have any questions or comments, of course, you can leave them down below. Alright, take care.